My name is Conny Leporatti, psychologist and psychotherapist. I have the pleasure of sharing with you the publication of the handbook of I colori, della luce. This is published by Inriga Edizioni from Bologna. This follows the publication of the book of art images. Yes, my work centers on the use of art images in the therapeutic relationship and the helping relationship. This is the fruit of 30 years of work, which has allowed me to select 260 images divided in 26 categories. The images contained in I colori, della luce are usable directly with patients, both in individual, couple, family therapy, in the helping relationship, in family mediation, and in the helping relationship. Among the 26 categories, there are 4 pertaining to couples who are having children, who are attempting to have children through medically assisted procedures, and there are 2 categories for the clinical assistance of trauma. This handbook is the instrument which allows us to use these tests in clinical work. It has seemed necessary to me within the handbook to first of all go over the origin of systemic family relationship therapy and relationship, as we know that within our work, without roots we cannot fly. And so it is important that we are aware of the developments in our field and the developments which have sustained family therapy until the modern day. I have thought it necessary to offer some insight into the developments both historically and transgenerationally in the fields, and to offer some clues as to how these have brought us to today. Beside reflecting on the growing importance of subjectivity and on the ways in which significance is attributed, I have thought it opportune to also offer ways of reflecting on the evolution of metaphoric and analogical language in therapy, and also on the concept and the evolution of the idea of narrative in psychotherapy. I have then focused on the new discoveries of the neurosciences for clinical work and on the importance of implicit relational knowledge. We now, for instance, understand on which basis the relationship between the therapist and the patient rests, and we now understand much better the relationship between individuals, thanks to the references we all know to work done on mirror neurons. Within the volume, at the end of this historical review, I have moved on to explaining the technique with which the art images test can be deployed, and I have offered several case studies as to ways and cases in which it can be used. Because I consider it important to be able to take advantage of the work already done by others in our field, I have included between the book 12 detailed case studies, 3 from individual therapy, 3 from couples therapy, 3 from family therapy, and 3 cases from family mediation. The book finally concludes with a previously unpublished interview with Rodolfo de Bernard. As many of you will know, Rodolfo de Bernard was a pioneer in the use of images both in teaching and in clinical work. I was lucky enough to be both his student and later his colleague. As you know, Rodolfo left us in 2019. If I close my eyes, I can see the day when we held that interview at the Institute of Family Therapy. It was a significant day in which we reflected together on the use of art images, and the possibility of sharing this with all of you further encouraged me to publish this handbook. For me, the passion for art images comes from my own history. My family comes from the town of Vinci, and as I grew up, my father taught me about Leonardo da Vinci, and I became acquainted very early with the book of painting and the countless exhibitions that my father brought me to. I recharge through the viewing of art images the way other people may do through music or by going to the sea. It is from my passion for keeping and then leafing through exhibition catalogues that the idea for the art images test came on a rainy November afternoon during work with a patient. From this, I shared this idea with Rodolfo, and then I began developing this test, and I presented it at several conferences around the world and through the years as I honed it. And through the years, several colleagues have asked me to share this material and share the test. Thanks to this, the art images test is currently used in numerous family therapy institutes, both part of EFTA, the European Family Therapy Association, but also in Latin America, in Southeast Asia, and in Russia. I have greatly benefited from discussing this work with my colleagues, and I have benefited from their experiences. So I would very much like to hear from you if you have used this test and to have your feedback as to its use in therapy. Thank you very much for your attention.